Thokozani, everybody, welcome to the Healing Sunday with Ikhambi Natural Healing. I would just like to apologize first for logging in late. We had a bit of some technical issues, but that is all sorted now. We are here, you know. I would like to request Matlaba to lead us in the breathing meditation, just to compose ourselves and invite our ancestors into the space, so that we do not operate from a place of ego, but rather we are led by them in what we are doing. Matlaba.
Thokozani, bantu abadala, bogogo nabomkhulu. Welcome to the space. I'd like for everybody to just get into a comfortable position. If you are seated, that would be great. If you may be standing about to make some coffee or tea, hopefully tea, not coffee, but just loosen up your shoulders and just maybe 2 shoulder shrugs all the way up, all the way down, up and down, up again and down. Okay, we're now going to get into our breathing. Apologies for not having my video on. I'm just having some technical difficulties. We are going to take 3 deep, long breaths. And we're going to hold them for 5 seconds. Hold your breath in for 5 seconds and then slowly release. So we want to make sure that we are doing our belly breaths that we learned from last week. So with one hand, please can you hold your tummy and let us begin. A nice deep breath in. Feel your tummy contract. Hold it in for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release. Feel your tummy expand. Release out your mouth and sigh out. We're going to do that again. Hold your tummy, a nice deep breath in. Really, really take it in and elongate yourself. Hold it in for 5 seconds. And sigh out through your mouth. Okay, you can position yourself for the last breath and a nice deep breath in. Elongate yourself. Make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears and your chest is nice and open. And hold it for 5. And exhale through the mouth. Thank you so much. I hope we're all feeling more centered and ready for another great session on the breathing series. Thokozani.
Thokozani, just give me a few seconds. I just wanted us, Kulumenzi, I'm putting up the pledge. Can you please lead us on the pledge?
That's all right. Ready when you're ready.
Is it showing the pledge?
It's showing your emails.
Okay.
Excuse me. There it is. All right. Welcome, everybody. Namugelekile. We're going to read the pledge, which is basically well, a pledge. We'll just read it. You will internalize it, and you will know why it is and what it is as I'm reading it. For those who feel comfortable doing so, you can turn on your mics and we can read it together. I will read it slowly and people can repeat after me. The Healer's Pledge, which is a code of conduct for the group. Natural healing, Ikhambi, the cure. So we begin here. Singabelaphi, we are healers.
Singabelaphi, we are healers.
We owe our gifts to nature, our ancestors, and our creators.
We owe our gifts to nature, our ancestors, and our creators.
We live by the principles of Ma'at, Unu, Ubuntu.
We live by the principles of Ma'at, Unu, Ubuntu.
We will approach each other with respect, honesty, and compassion.
We will approach each other with respect, honesty, and compassion.
We will offer our advice, prescriptions, and ideas with trust.
We will offer our advice, prescriptions, and ideas with trust.
We will neither insult, dishonor, nor abuse one another.
We will neither insult, dishonor, nor abuse one another.
We will share, practice, promote, and raise awareness.
We will share, promote, and raise awareness about natural
healing, healthy lifestyles, and well-being.
About natural healing, lifestyles, and well-being.
We will refrain from posting negative information.
We will refrain from posting negative information.
We will refrain from posting irrelevant information and falsehoods.
We will refrain from posting irrelevant information and falsehoods.
Singabelaphi, we are healers.
Singabelaphi, we are healers.
Our gifts are a gift to humanity and nature.
Our gifts are a gift to humanity and nature.
We will give back to nature what it has abundantly given us.
We will give back to nature what it has abundantly given us.
Ashe, siyabonga, siyathokoza.
Ashe.
Over now to the co-host, Mankos.
So for today's session, I wanted to give context to some of, because it's the last session. Because it's the last session, I wanted to give context to every symbol that we have used. Well, I'll try to give context to every symbol that we have used. So just give a few moments. So just as a disclaimer for the session, actually for all the sessions that we have done before, the information that we provide is for educational and information purposes only and may not be construed as medical advice. The information is not intended to replace medical advice or treatment offered by healthcare professionals. And so we begin. So just to begin this session, I just wanted us to have a quick recap in terms of where we're tracking for our breathing session. So we will start off with our cabinet. So we have garlic, we also have ginger, and we have lemon balm, we have dill, we have helichrysum, we have eucalyptus, and we have peppermint, and we have cayenne pepper. We've got onions, and we've got thyme, and we have marijuana, and then we have sage, and then we have Alipia amatimbika kataza, and that's what we have currently on our medical cabinets today so far. So these are the herbs that we've discussed in the previous sessions that are relevant to helping us breathe better or treat any ailments that relate to our respiratory systems. So I will get onto the crystals that we have discussed over the last sessions. So we've got mosquite, and we have apophyllite, and then these are the other crystals that the main ones was apophyllite and mosquite, and the other ones that could be used were malachite, amethyst, morgate, lapis lazuli, chrysocolla, pyrite, and amber. So, and the exercises that we have discussed before is the belly breathing and the deep breathing, and the chakras that we have identified to be the ones that are linked to our respiratory system is the heart chakra. And for nutritional purposes, we have identified these fruits and vegetables as being the ones that are more linked to helping us breathe a bit better. So it's all greens and reds. So basically it's vitamins. I can't remember. Kana, we said the group is, please remind me again.
So it's vitamin C, and it's also the citrus family.
Yes, yes.
And then it's and your antioxidants.
And your antioxidants. I was actually looking for that name, antioxidants. So for today's session, we are going to add onto our herbal cabinet. So the herb that we will be discussing is Artemisia. So Artemisia is it's a plant that has over 500 species that worldwide. These are species that you can find worldwide. It is part of the daisy family, and it is used for culinary purposes. Some of the species are used for cooking, and some are used for medicinal purposes. Some are used for decorations, and some of the species are used for as insect repellents. So I wanted us to take a look at some of the examples in terms of, before we get on to the main herb that we will be discussing today, I wanted us to take a look at some of the examples that of Artemisia plants. So Artemisia albatura is one of the plants that fall into the Artemisia family. So this is how the plant looks like. And if you look a bit closer, this is how the leaves actually look like. They look a bit like dill or imboziso. So yeah, that's how you identify it. And then we've got Artemisia afra, which looks like so the bush looks like that. And then the leaves, I tried to find a leaf as close as possible, but this is the best that I could do. So I hope everybody is able to see that it looks a bit fan-like, the leaf, and that's how you identify it. And then we have Artemisia ludoviciana, which is commonly known as the white sage, and this is how it looks like. And then we've got Artemisia vulgaris, and this is how the bush looks like, and this is how the leaves look like. And then today's herb, the one that we will be adding onto our medical cabinet, our herbal cabinet, is Artemisia afra. So just to get on as to what is Artemisia afra, I wanted us to like identify some of the names that are used first in other languages, because Artemisia afra, that's like the scientific name. And sometimes when people talk, you think that they're talking about something foreign, and it's probably something that you know. It's just that in your language, it's called differently. So in Swati, Xhosa, and Zulu, it's called umhlonyane. And in Kisamba, it's called Fivi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope people who know Kisamba will come to my aid. In Kisafwa, it's called Luyanga. Also a disclaimer in terms of pronunciation. And in Kinyakwi, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's called Lusanje. And in Tswana, it's called Lingana. And yeah, and in Tswana, it's called Lingana. So the plant mainly grows in damp areas, and you'd normally find it near the riverside. And you will find it mostly in the southern region, in countries like your Kenya, your Tanzania, your Uganda, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and South Africa. So it's south and central. So how do you use Artemisia as for medical purposes, for medicinal purposes? So its properties, we mainly use it as an antiviral, an antibacterial, and as an anti-inflammatory. Those are the properties that the plant has. And the parts that is used is the leaf. Pretty sure I showed you the leaf a bit earlier on, and we use it for treatment of coughs, cold, and influenza. So the plant, the preparation method, you would mainly prepare it as either a decoction, an infusion, or a syrup, or you would steam with it. So we've discussed in the previous sessions in terms of how we conduct these preparation methods, and I will not go into details with that because we had discussed this in the past, and maybe at some time in the future we will do a refresher in terms of reminding ourselves how this plant, on the preparation methods. So the plant may be used with other plants, and it's, you know what, everything in moderation. So the plant, when you prepare it, either when you do a decoction or an infusion, or even when you're doing a syrup or a steam, you can put some other herbs to prepare when preparing it. And I'll show you some of the herbs that you can use to add to this decoction or whatever preparation method you've chosen. So the one herb is called Helichrysum impepo, and you can use it with that, and you can also use it with marijuana. You can also use it with sage, and you can also use it with garlic, and you can also use it with ginger, and you can also use it with eucalyptus and ikataza. So with garlic, I want us to also remember that for the healing properties to be activated, you have to chop it. You can't put the whole clove in. So allicin needs to be activated before you can, before the healing properties start working. So are there any questions before we move to the cautions regarding the uses?
Gogo, Rita, I wanted to just check, how do you activate allicin? Because normally I eat a clove of garlic, like I chew it and just swallow it like that. Does that work in terms of activating allicin?
So allicin is activated either by chopping the clove or by chewing it. So you have to break the clove apart for allicin to be activated.
Perfect, thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Okay. So I will move.
Well, Makosi, my son was asking, would onion also be one of those herbs to be used together, lilengana? Because he says he doesn't see it listed, but he listened to the benefits of onion previously, and it sounds like it could be.
You know what, Gogo Retabile, personally, I don't know any recipe for using lingana and onion, but I will find out for you and say and share that information as to whether it is possible to use lingana and onion, because I can't say yes and I can't say no.
Marcos.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, after Kokolin.
Good morning, everyone. This is not for everyone, again. Onion can cause phlegm in some people. And if you're going to use it and you are one of those people that would get phlegm, you are going to feel even more sick. So like Gogonelli says, she can't say yes, she can't say no. It's just a caution to say for some people, onion makes phlegm. So you just need to be very, very careful if you're going to combine it. But I wouldn't advise it.
I'm glad for Talina, because my family, me and my kids, we have seasonal bronchitis, and the little one and I had a lung infection in the past, so we struggle with phlegm in general. So thanks for that. That's quite valuable to me. Thanks.
Okay.
Hola. Can I say something? Sorry.
You can go ahead, Gogo. I'll speak after you.
Arancha, here is speaking. Just to mention, I wouldn't use together the onion and the Artemisia, but the Artemisia, for the sister who spoke now about chronic bronchitis, even a lung infection, that is the herb to drink. Artemisia wild daja, which it works very well with the chest, especially the wild daja, which I'm sure we're gonna see, if not today, any other day. With the onion, I never knew that it caused flames, which is very good to know. But when I use the onion, I use it on its own. I make me like a syrup of onion. I chop the onion, I put sugar. I know sugar is not the best, but look, it's affordable and everybody has it at home. And otherwise, if you have, you can use the honey, but people do that with honey. Take the onion, chop the onion, pour the sugar, and let the sugar melt with the onion. And then you get the syrup. And that is an amazing syrup for opening your bronchus, your chest, and for sleeping and stopping your cough at night. If not using the Artemisia with the onion, maybe for flames, to work against flames, would work very well with sweet root. La Sirriba, I don't know the name, the botanical name, but you know sweet root?
I don't know sweet root.
I'm going to look for the proper name. It's actually a root, a plant that comes from here, from the Mediterranean side, but in South Africa it was naturalized and they grow it in Oudtshoorn, outside Oudtshoorn, and like what they get from it, like the licorice. Is actually licorice. So most of coughing remedies, syrups sold in the pharmacies, one of the main ingredients is the licorice, is the sweet root. So that's a very, very good herb for the chest, for the flames, to bring all flames out of your system. Thank you. And one more thing about the Artemisia, I'm sure we are speaking about properties related to the lung and the respiratory system, but Artemisia is a number one as as to treat how you call animals, things that lives inside you, parasite. Any
Parasites.
parasites, any type of parasites, very good. And as a fresh leaf, when you have an earache, a fresh leaf, just put it in your ear, and it likely help you to release the pain a bit. Thanks.
Thank you, Aranza. That was Aranza.
Yes, Aranza, that helps also.
Thank you.
Artemisia and Dacha, thank you.
Can I ask that the speaker, when please announce and say your name so that people know who's speaking. Also, I wanted to say to people that this is the uses I've only limited to disclosing only the ones that are relevant for the breathing respiratory system. Matlaba, you were saying something.
Yes, Gogo, thank you. I wanted to also say, I was just thinking as Ugogo Lina was speaking about that onions can, in some cases for some people can cause phlegm. I would like to implore all of us as we are learning to also keep a journal at the side of what you are drinking and how you are reacting to it, so that when you are consulting or speaking to someone, you will know what works for you and what doesn't as you are trying different things. I think we try sometimes different herbs, but we don't really document, are they working for you? How did you feel after? So it would be nice to just keep a journal of somewhere where you are writing down, you had a cough, this is what you tried and this is what you drank, this is what you used to steam. How did you feel after? Was it useful? Wasn't? Because you might find it's just your combinations also that are not right, or just certain things are not working for you. So keeping something written down, even on your phone, it doesn't have to be now go out and go buy a book. Just on your phone, under your notes, just keep a record of what you're drinking and how you're feeling after. Thomasan.
I just wanted to share some of the comments that we're receiving. So Dr. Nyarai says sweet root is osmorizer. Nkulumenzi says it grows in Swatini and some parts of KZN. Thank you so much, Dr. Nyarai, for that information. I appreciate it. So then?
I just feel like there's when it comes to Artemisia afra, specifically Artemisia afra that grows here, I'm growing it in the house, in the yard too. The issue now is a lot of people, healers, are complaining about they're not complaining, but they're warning about the fact that it is very strong. So I am concerned about portions, you know, and I think we raised the question also again when one of our people who are selling, you know, Artemisia in packaging. You know, I remember we raised this question in another group about people overtaking it, you know, putting 2 spoons or 3 spoons because you are feeling very sick and you know that it works. So now, how do we navigate around that in terms of portions with Artemisia afra? And when you are making it, you are making what? A tea? You're making a concoction? Or what are you making when, let's say, you are having a respiratory problem of some sort?
So Mkulu, that I think we said a bit earlier during the session that Artemisia is prepared as a decoction or an infusion or sometimes even a syrup, or you can steam with it. And in terms of usage, for me, I wouldn't advise you to use Artemisia for longer than 2 weeks, first of all, because I've seen that people tend to use it for prolonged periods. I wouldn't advise anybody to use Artemisia for longer than 2 weeks. Also, and hence we keep saying that everything in moderations. It's don't put umuthi awusebenzi based on by it being ubuningi sometimes, you know. I don't know how to articulate that in English. Sometimes umuthi awusebenzi ngobuningi and you don't really need that much, you know, especially because you need to be cautious of what it does to your body. And we're gonna get into some of the cautions that I have prepared for that just after the Q&A in terms of the uses of Artemisia. Because, or maybe I should, you know, maybe I should get onto the cautions right now. So some of the cautions that of using Artemisia is that it lowers your insulin levels. So therefore you can't just drink it, especially if you're a diabetic person. And it also has it affects your blood pressure. So if you're somebody who has high blood pressure, you have to use it with caution. And so therefore it's not a one size fits all in terms of the dosages. And again, I want to highlight the importance of having a proper consultation sometimes. You know, sometimes in as much as we like self-medicating, the role that is played by Izinyanga and our healers is very, very important, in that they know and they have the experience to be able to say, because you have this, you know, I want to share this story. When my mother got sick earlier on, she had COVID. We didn't even use Artemisia as part of a treatment. We didn't even use, like, it's not, I saw that people were, I want to caution people, during the COVID, as we still have COVID. The lockdown has almost ended, but we still have COVID. People went to Artemisia as like first resort. That's sometimes not the best route to go based on your underlying conditions. And so therefore you need to consult sometimes. Hence I was saying with my mother, I didn't even use Artemisia when I was treating her when she tested COVID positive. I'm not sure, Doctor, what's this? Retabile, did we use Artemisia for you? Retabile? Okay, but yes,
apologies, I didn't hear that.
Did we use Artemisia as part of your treatment when you had COVID?
Yes, a little bit we did. Yes.
Okay.
But we stopped during week 2, and week 3 we continued with other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I wanted us to focus on this herb as number last, because it's not the go-to herb. Please don't do that. There's other herbs, as you have seen in our medical cabinet, that are very useful in terms of treatment and based on your underlying conditions. Just to answer Umkhulumenzi when he speaks about dosages, they depend on your underlying conditions.
For my sons and my mother, we did use Artemisia, Ikataza, Mpepo, and Hateyanga and Marijuana. For me, we used the rest of them. During week 3, we cut Artemisia.
Thank you for sharing. Do we have other questions? So I just want to go to the comments. So I want to go through some of the comments. I'll just browse through, just give me a second. So Mkhulumenzi says, Thokoza, Dr. Lina, onion causing phlegm. I am taking this seriously because we're struggling with phlegm in my house. Thank you, Mkhulumenzi, for sharing that. And then there's Ritabile thanking Aranza. So Aranza says sweet root equals to glycer, rhiza, glabra. Yeah, guys, can Aranza please come and pronounce this because I'm not gonna. Dr. Lina?
I can't even pronounce it myself. That's why I never kind of learned it.
Don't worry about Latin.
Dr. Lina.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say there's various types of onions. The common one that we use in our homes is either the white onion or the yellow onion. And those are the ones that I'm cautioning on because they do produce phlegm for some people, not for everyone. The one that it doesn't produce phlegm is the red onion, and it tends to be more expensive for most people. So if you are having such, and also I might ask, do they like coriander? Was this Mkhulumenzi? Do they cook with coriander? Can you answer that?
Kulumens.
Whom are you speaking about in terms of who cooking?
You
The
made it.
person who said
The comment, I was sharing a comment from someone else because it's.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
So I wanted to ask if they are using coriander, because the coriander seeds on their own as well, for some people, they cause phlegm. So you might find that the person is cooking with a combination of white onion and coriander seed. So you need to activate the coriander seeds if you don't want them to give you phlegm. So they must switch and use red onion for cooking. And if they are people who like cooking with coriander, they must change the composition of the coriander, because you find some people say, I just drink coriander as a tea. And then you find that person going like the whole time. It's actually the coriander on your throat that is causing that phlegm, and even in your chest. So you have to change the composition of it so that it doesn't give you the phlegm.
Interesting.
Sorry, Dr. Lina, may I just ask, what do you mean when you say change the composition of it, so that we perhaps get to understand how do we then use it?
Okay, with coriander, when you want to change the composition of it, you have to put it in a frying pan with no water, with no oil. So it is brown. It has to change color to black. So you're basically roasting it. The smell will tell you that now it has changed. Then you can then cook with it. If you're going to make your gravy or meat or whatever. So for those who struggle with phlegm, the first thing that they need to do is change it so that it's suitable for them.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Sorry for not announcing my name. It's Mhleli Linda. I was the one who was asking Dr. Lina. Continue, Mankosa.
Thank you so much, Doctor. So before we proceed, I want to thank for preparation of the session. Thank you so much, Dr. Lina, for helping. We sat there and we were trying to figure out, because I know plants based on visual, and we had to sit there and try to figure out what is it called, what's the scientific name, because it's one thing to know what a plant does, and trying to figure out from a scientific perspective what is it called. Thank you so much. Before we proceed, I wanted to give credit to Dr. Lina for preparation of the Artemisia portion of the session. Thank you, Samak.
I thank you for doing all the work. Thank you very much for putting all this together. So yes, it's a pleasure to help.
Thank you so much. So the next plant that we will be adding to our medical cabinet, herbal cabinet. I don't know why I keep saying medical cabinet, but then it depends. So is Lepia javanica. So just to describe it, it is a woody shrub that can grow for up to 1 to 2 meters. It is part of the Verbena family, which has about 200 plus. You know, this plant hasn't been researched. There's not much documented research. So for me, who has learned plants from my elders, it's a bit hard to try and come and explain to people. Like, I know what it does, but it's not really explained. So there's also, so the plant looks like this, and the leaves look like this, just a close-up, and the flower pods look like this. I just wanted us to just know how to identify the plant, because some of us, we think we don't know the plant, but we actually do know it. When Mkhulumenzi was talking about it, I thought he was talking about something completely foreign, and I didn't understand what he was talking about because he used a different name. And then it turns out we actually know what he's talking about. So in Zulu, it's called Umsuzwane. In Tswana, it's called Musukudu. And in Shona, it's called Zumbane. And in Sotho, it's called Mumara. Yes, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Mumara. I can't hear you. Your volume is very low.
Doesn't matter. Continue.
Okay. So the geographical area, so you would generally find the plant in grasslands, on hillsides, and on banks on the river. So you find it in the river, near the river. Ooh, I made my tea very strong, and I need to just wash it down with something. Sorry. So you would mainly find it in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, and Namibia, as well as South Africa. So how is it used? The uses. So the plant has antimicrobial properties, and the part that you use is the leaves. So I wanted to take some time to explain what antimicrobial is. So it's basically a substance that inhibits the growth of microorganisms, but causes little or no damage to the host. So what is, what's this microorganism? They can be divided into 6 major types, which is your bacteria, archaea, fungi, protozoa, and algae, as well as viruses. So yeah, that's what antimicrobial is. So we, thank you. So Zumbane, I will refer to it as Zumbane now. I'm not gonna speak that Lipia, so anyway, we use it to treat coughs, colds, bronchitis, influenza, fever, and it's very good in terms of treating asthma. So the preparation methods that you would use is decoction, infusion, and steam. So the plants that it may be used with is Artemisia. So when you mix, so it's been found that it's very good in terms of treating respiratory diseases. When you mix it with, when you take Zumbane as well as Artemisia, and you make a decoction or an infusion, it helps with coughs and colds, as well as treating of asthma or any other like serious respiratory infections. And you can also use it with marijuana, as well as garlic. Wait, what did I do? As well as garlic, ginger, and eucalyptus, and kataza. I just wanted to see something. So Mkhulumenzi says, I'm not sure, is it from you, Mkhulumenzi, or is it, can you please, when you post from another, it's from you directly, please. Okay, so Zumbane / Umsuzwane that grows in Zim is slightly different to the one from KZN. The flower is different, yet the leaves has the similar strong minty smell. They are both called Umsuzwane. We simply use it as tea in Zimbabwe. Thank you very much for that contribution, Mkhulumenzi. So before we proceed, are there any questions regarding Zumbane or is there any additions to the information that has been provided? Okay, it seems we do not have any questions for this section. So the caution, so because there's very little data available for this, there hasn't been any recorded, that much recorded side effects. So the one that I was able to find is that this plant may cause liver damage if with prolonged usage. It's not that when you use it once, you must be worried about liver damage. No, with prolonged usage, it may cause liver damage. And in some instances may even lead to jaundice, which is linked to your liver damage in any case. So just to reflect on how our medical cabinet looks like. So when we started the session, this is where we were in terms of the herbs in our medical cabinet. And then we have now added Mhlonyane, and then we have now added Zumbane. So I just want to repeat the disclaimer. The information that we provide is for educational and information purposes and may not be used or be construed as medical advice. Information is intended, the information is not intended to replace medical advice or treatment offered by a healthcare professional. It's very important that we remember that. So we have come to the end of our session.
Am I allowed a question, please? Or not?
Kulu?
Am I allowed one question, please?
Yeah, you can.
All right. The question is related to rocks. Maybe it's to Kokoneli Siwe. In terms of the what you call it, the stones, the crystals. Can you repeat, please, which crystal specifically is related to the throat chakra?
Hi, Mkul. So the throat chakra is that you're looking for any blue crystals. So your lapis lazuli is quite good. So I don't know if you can go back to the slide, Mankosi. Yes. So lapis lazuli will be good. Your chrysocolla will also be good. So what you think about in terms of crystals is that the colors of your energy points, so that it's chakras, you just go with the color for that specific energy point that you want. So blues for your throat. So your lapis lazuli will be quite good. Let me just think of another one off by
The
head.
one I took to the hospital, Makosi, with sodalite.
Oh yes, sodalite. Yes, sodalite is also quite good.
So my question, my next question is: so you just place it on that spot indefinitely, and you place it for 2 hours, you place it for 30 minutes. You know, I'm interested in those little things, those little details, because you may have it, you're holding it in your hand, or you're putting it in your throat, or on your throat, or what exactly?
So you would put it on your throat when you are doing a meditation or taking a bit of time. So there is no time frame in terms of 2 hours, 30 minutes. You can actually have it for 30 seconds. It's all about intention, and it's all about being aware of what you are doing. So you will just take the stone, put it on your throat, and just have that quiet time with yourself of what are you trying to do, of like, I'm trying to open up my throat for this reason, and then just that connection. So it's just really about that awareness that you have, and you can do that while you are doing breathing, or just opening up your mouth and going just to kind of like open up that area that you actually want to get energy flow.
May I add, Makosi? Kulumenzi, I've learned so much about crystals from Gogo Nelisi, with that I feel like an expert just in 2 days. So I went into the hospital with my chakra stones, all of them, Nkulumenzi. And as per each stone's purpose and benefit, I prayed, utilizing, you know, it helps when you buy the stones and you ask for the information behind the stone so that you understand what the throat chakra it's all about. So with the throat chakra, I prayed about helping me with communication and expression, calming me, soothing me, and balancing me so that, you know, I don't go crazy in there, because I didn't want to go to the hospital. Gogo Nelly and Gogo Nelisiwe helped me to go. And then I got the smoky quartz, which speaks about dissolving negativity, protecting you and grounding you, removing emotional blockages. Gogo Nelly and Nelisiwe can tell you that I had lots of blockages, and I did quite well, discharged yesterday. And the amethyst, I took the amethyst my son has, which assists with spiritual growth and meditation, soothing the mind, helping to overcome addictions. I took it because, yeah, I thought I have bad addictions and I needed to anyway pray and meditate. And I prayed so much in the past few days that I went into theater light instead of normally going with anxiety. So thank you, Gogos.
Togoza Cook. Togoza. I just wanted to add on what Tebogo Mudisane is just commented on. So she said turquoise may also be used for the throat chakra. Was it a question? And turquoise may be good for throat chakra. It's a question. Maklaba.
I just answered and I said yes, it is.
Okay, yes. So
and I also just want to bring attention that all of these stones are interchangeable. So it doesn't mean that, okay, for malachite, you know that it's for your heart, that you can't use it for anywhere else. It also works for your throat. So as a beginner, it's good to use the colors for your energy points, your chakras. But as you research more and you get more comfortable with using crystals, you'll find that they are very interchangeable and they don't just stick to one area. You know, you can't say that, okay, if I use this crystal here, I can't use it for the, I mean, for pyrite, for instance, pyrite is also a good money manifestation stone. So you could use it for a whole, there's so much that can be used and worked with. So do not limit yourself, Makosi. Know that it's about your research, but also what you are drawn to. You might find, we might give you these crystals and say, turquoise can only be used for throats, but turquoise is also good for fertility. So you can also use it for your womb healing. So just be very open with yourself and your spirit guides to lead you to what you are supposed to be drawn to and work with, because that is going to be specific for you also. Thank you.
I also wanted to remind people when we're looking at our medical, thank you, Matlaba. I also wanted to remind people when we're looking at our medical cabinet, our herbal cabinet, is that we only limited the discussions to respiratory illnesses. As we progress and we discuss other conditions or other parts of the body, you may find that these herbs are reoccurring, and they do more than just one function based on their chemical composition or their healing properties. So it's not that we are saying that this is all that it can. And also bear in mind that based on the time limitations, this cabinet is not complete. And maybe at some future time, we may need to come back to the breathing session and add on in terms of what is in our herbal cabinet, and we'll also probably have to add on in terms of exercises and all the other aspects that we have discussed. So with that being said, Makos, I don't know, I almost wanted to go back here and just remind people, of some of the symbols and who were not here. So So the upper tree is, ooh, gosh. So the upper tree is as above, and the lower tree is so as below. And then we have our pyramid, and then we have our sun, and the sun represents the sun and rejuvenation. Let the sun rejuvenate. And with that being said, this is the composition of the logo, Natural Healing Ikhambi. Thank you so much for joining us for the breathing session.
Thank you very much.
Hayi-ke makhosi nizizwele nani namhlanje besigeqa amagula-ke namhlanje in terms of our breathing session. Thank you to everybody who participated. Thank you so much, Makhosi Nelly. Thank you, Makhosi Xaba. Thank you, Makhosi Masego Ngamani. Siyabonga futhi nakuwena Gogo Rithabile, siyabonga Aranza. Is it Aranza? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, Aranza.
Aranza, yes, yes. But nje, thanks to everybody. Thanks, Dr. Lena. Thanks to everyone who participated today. Thank you for your assistance and for your knowledge as well. Very helpful information here on this platform. And we appreciate very much everything that you have done for us here. Ngicela ukuvala Nkosi Menzi, ngicela ukuthumela kuwena usungasivalela Nkosi yami.
Ngomthandazo ngiyala. No, Makosi, we still have a lot of sessions. I think Nelly can give us quickly, Gogo Makosi can give us quickly a rundown of, I don't know if that's allowed right now, of what's the next session that's coming up so that people can ready themselves for that. There's nothing else special that I would like to say, but you've said thank you. We are very grateful for the people that are attending these, and we aim to grow together, we aim to learn together, and we aim to earn together also as we move into the services and the production and everything that we need to do as natural healers, as people who are interested in this work. It's very important work, this energy work. It's very important work. One thing I must raise very importantly is this thing that we keep reaffirming, giving back to nature, cleaning up nature, making sure that we are clean. We live a very clean life. We don't go to mountains and leave bottles and leave burning candles and leave things. This natural life is really about cleanliness. It's about cleanliness of mind, body, and spirit. So that one is something that we must reaffirm at all times, because nature is giving us so much, but a lot of the time we simply pollute. So we can only get from nature what we give back also. You know, even though nature gives us much more than we can ever wish to give. So siyathokoza kakhulu. May the healers continue growing. And maybe I would like Umankosi to maybe give us what's up next.
So the next series is the hygiene session. How do we take care of our bodies, and how do we take care of spirit, you know, hygiene inside and outside. And then the series that will follow after that is the headache series, where we will discuss headaches, all matters related to headaches. And Naxaba, what did we say the series that follows after that will be?
I think we had looked at womb healing.
Oh yes, womb healing. The next series that will come after that is the womb healing. And then after, we will discuss legal matters as it relates to patents. And how do we protect the stuff that we produce?
Makosi, please think about UTIs. Those are very prevalent.
Okay. Okay. So I think we done.
I don't know what a UTI is before you say goodbye. What is a UTI?
I will talk offline. She'll explain to us what she is.
What's up, everybody? Ukuthula Magwande.
Tamaku.
Thokozani, siyabonga.
Thokozani nonke makhosi.